In the age of boss babe culture, independence is celebrated, hustle is glorified, and the grind is worn like a badge of honor. Yet behind the glossy Instagram quotes, overnight success reels, and "I don't need a man" mantras lies a growing crisis no one wants to talk about. Independent women are burning out, breaking down, and in extreme cases dying from stress on the job. The pressure cooker lifestyle. Today's modern independent woman is expected to be everything: career powerhouse, emotional rock, financial provider, social butterfly, and community inspiration. She wakes up at 5 a.m., runs off caffeine and determination, clocks 60-plus hour work weeks, shoulders student loans, rents in inflated cities, aging parents, and somehow must still look perfect while doing it. The result? Skyrocketing stress levels. Heart disease is now the leading cause of death among women, and stress is a major trigger. Anxiety disorders affect women nearly twice as much as men. Stroke rates among women in their 30s and 40s are spiking, tied directly to overwork, poor sleep, and high-pressure fields. Silent killers like hypertension, autoimmune diseases, and cortisol-driven organ failure are creeping in earlier and earlier. No rest for the strong woman. Unlike previous generations, today's independent woman is often alone at the top. There's no partner to split financial burdens, no traditional support system, and no safety net. The "I can do bad all by myself" attitude means many suffer silently, refusing to admit weakness for fear of being judged as a failure. Work culture doesn't help. Corporate America praises the woman who never takes vacation, answers emails at midnight, skips lunch, and returns to work 7 days after a miscarriage. But it comes at a deadly price. Stress-related deaths on the rise. Young female executives in law, finance, tech, and healthcare are dying suddenly from heart attacks. Nurses, teachers, and caregivers are collapsing on the job from exhaustion. Black women, who face a double burden of racism and sexism, show the highest stress-related mortality rates. Doctors are sounding the alarm. Women in their prime are dying younger than their mothers, not from violence or disease, but from stress-fueled burnout. The reality: independence is killing too many. Society told women, be independent, don't rely on men, chase the bag, grind till you make it. But nobody told them that relentless independence without balance leads to isolation, hormonal collapse, and premature death. It's time for a reset. To survive, literally, women must reclaim rest as a right, not a luxury. Stop glorifying hustle culture. Build authentic support systems. Reconsider traditional partnerships as strategy, not weakness. Say no to toxic corporate expectations. Because independence means nothing if you don't live long enough.